Hey, welcome back. I'm Phineas T. Broussard, the 10-term Southern Senator from the great state of Down Yonder. Just taking a little break from a croquet game with the great-grandkids out the back lawn. Beautiful spring day down yonder, so of course I've been sipping mint julep. And if you have a mind to join me, just remember that Don't Drink and Drive includes golf carts on the croquet lawn. Anyway, with my sipping, I've been ruminating too. And that means, of course, it's time we have ourselves another little chit-chat. It's like when my boy Thaddeus come home from Korea back in '53. After the Battle of Chosin Reservoir, he survived a POW camp through 2 sub-zero winters. And after watching dozens of friends die and losing most of his fingers to frostbite, he come back a different young man. He no longer talked much about nothing. I pushed, said Tad, we really got to have us a chit-chat. But he just couldn't unburden himself, to me or no one else. Right up till he drove his car into the swamp and weren't never found. Same car he once wakened to the beauty of life up the bunny patch. Beg pardon, I don't mean to be sad trapping no one, but this chit-chat probably just as important for all us now as that one that didn't happen or could have been for Tad. 'Cause more than ever, this is about your future. It's about your kids' future. It's about America's future. And I don't want to see none of you getting so depressed about your loss of freedoms under fascists in the months and years ahead that you sip a few too many to ease your pain and go driving into no swamp. My midnight musings last time, we was talking about these perilous times and the assault on truth and facts. Mostly, of course, we talking about the smudge. That attention-seeking, snake oil, flim-flammer hawking, the rabble-rousing rhetoric of a power-hungry demagogue. He ratchet up lots of folks' anger by a couple kilotons, hoping to convert it to treason. I tell you, money may be the mother's milk of politics, but fear and anger be the keys to cash and votes. And most effective tools are the charlatans and the smileygasters. So this it now sometime, or next time, or meantime, or whatever time I promise to reopen some of the stinky cans of worms I've been leaving all over the house. I'm no longer sure exactly where we was, as my own hemisphere is starting to go cattywampus. Truth is, I got to hand it to the smudge. I get dizzy just trying to keep up with the reports of everything going on around that man. And I don't know how he can live to it all, according to some reports on nothing but late-night cheeseburgers. No wonder he's slurring his words and sound concerned. And he don't even drink. You know, sanity comes in many forms, and liquid sanity, of course, good as any. But that man really needs something. Many find it especially difficult to understand how a substantial part of our population can be so blind to the true danger posed by the smudge, and by ignoring the truth and facts. Maybe I can help shed a little light here, but I got to be clear about one thing. There are plenty of impressively foolish folks of every political persuasion from all backgrounds and locations. Whatever the case, the point is, an abundance of anger don't necessarily make folks stupid, but it can blind a big bunch. And whether you angry or blind, you're more inclined to act foolish. And as a group, you often do. Which is why my friend Marcus Aurelius said, anger corrode the container that hold it. And on this widespread scale, anger not only embarrassing but downright dangerous. We talked about good reasons for some to be genuinely angry, like the way rural America, rural culture and opportunity being decimated by the global economy going on 4 decades now. But even when your anger justified, you magasses ought to know how you actually look to everyone who ain't drunk the Kool-Aid, which is something akin to the walking dead or the body snatchers, with formerly normal folks now walking crooked and foaming at the mouth. Many getting what they think they know from whatever stranger on the internet make up, and from the strategic lies repeated by the ultimate performance politician, who just happened to be a psychologically unstable dictator wannabe with a mental health issues and a history of scamming any sucker he can. And remember Sam, it ain't what you know but what you think you know that just ain't so. Lots of folks now thinking the same government that been defending their shores, separating the airplanes, inspecting your meat, and a lot more is actually trying to kill you with a vaccine. Really? When you add it all together, you understand government actually done a lot to make most everybody's life better. But you're pissed off and want to rip it up and burn it down. Really? And while global economic forces, the primary cause of taking jobs and causing inflation, one party focused on trying to solve problems while the other in disarray because it's showtime in the center ring of the circus. And now, when our authoritarian archenemy the last 8 decades could be on the ropes, your buddy the smudge want to help him by breaking up the biggest and strongest global alliance of free countries in history to disrupt everything. Really? Fact is, our whole information ecosystem kind of cattywampus. So if you're trusting in market-tailored news driven by ratings and ad billings and the silliest horses hit on the internet, dreamt up by strangers who just laughing at you, probably in Russian, you better start reading and listening to more than 1 or 2 sources that just spoon-feeding you false angles meant to anger you for profit. And bone up on your truth and facts. Truth is, the road we on got a few bumps, but for most, it's a genuinely nice drive and life pretty good. But that other road, up ahead at the Novemba Junction, it could easily go a long way past your worst nightmare. And it's a one-way road, with no parking spots, no scenic turnouts, and no turning back. Not for y'all now, not for your kids later, and probably not for their kids. And if you maybe apply a little common sense, you might start seeing reality again. And remember, reality oftentimes ain't the worst, as Mr. Kingswell demonstrates. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, see Chit Chat number 3 and start watching them in order. Because Finn here actually built in a little continuity if you pay attention. You got to think. The rule of law, a beautiful thing. Would you rather be part the greatest country in the history of the world? A superpower where you got both the guaranteed freedom to speak out safely and to prosper if you have a mind to compete? Or would you rather be silenced by the empty rhetoric of and unfulfilled promises of authoritative swindler who seriously threatening your freedoms and already prove he in it for himself? But remember too, that man could wake up tomorrow and decide to blame you. I see 2 kind of smiles these days. One suggests a smug, self-satisfied gamesmanship, a passive aggression that suggests they see victory for their dark vision by just disregarding the rule of law, conventional norms, and even truth and facts. These smiles suggest they really might burn our country to the ground without regard for the impact of their destructive behavior. On the other side, seems like smiles of condescending disbelief of the absurdity of that behavior. Smiles and even laughter to the point of tears, exuding disbelief at others who could ever buy into what seem inexplicable, which also seem absolutely impossible. But fact is, it ain't. 'Cause human beings capable all kind of silliness that near inexplicable. And my deepest concern is that many of those laughing at how crazy others sound could be shocked over how serious some of them are, and the lengths they'll go to, even though the dangerous result of what they's advocating and the true price they're apparently willing to pay could prove beyond their or anyone's imagination, and it might not become evident till way down the road, when it's too late to change their mind, and when it's too late to save America. That's why we all need to be thinking through the big picture now, and speaking up, and risk sounding like fools to help save our country, so as we can all get back to those home repair issues. I love my special sweetness. I love my great-grandkids. And I love my country, which is why I spent 10 terms in the U.S. Senate. Did I mention that? Advising presidents and knocking the heads of knuckleheads in Congress to help forge the greatest nation in the history of the world. Just remember for now that we all, and I mean everyone, ought to listen real well, learn a whole lot, be nice as possible to absolutely everyone, and have a lot of fun. We could actually not only save a country, but maybe even make it a better world. And like I said, long as you're here, you might as well help. Oh, and as always, just call me Finn.